And here we go. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
To the Fahim, or Mandalorian, dance hour.
Hold on. Sorry, I broke. Hold on. And we're back.
We're back.
Welcome back to the Mandalorian dance hour.
Thank you, Mr. Mandalorian.
No problem. You can call me you can call me Mando for short.
Was DeLorean your dad's?
Please. DeLorean was my dad's name. Call me Mando. Call me Mando. I took my helmet off. I took my helmet off for the podcast because we do YouTube now.
Yeah. People want to see you.
Yeah, we were doing audio. We were doing like an audio Mandalorian podcast. And then they go, "Hey, you should do YouTube, Mando." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, you can monetize it. You can do in-ad rolls and non-skippable ads. And with Google AdSense, you can really get a lot of credits for your ship."
Damn, you've learned a lot about
I've learned
the
a thing
YouTube
or
game.
two about the YouTube game. So
You on your spaceship?
on my spaceship,
you and Baby
podcasts
Yoda?
are big. Baby, his name's not Baby Yoda. Take that back.
I apologize. What do you guys?
How far are you?
Episode 0.
You've never seen an episode?
Never watched an episode yet.
All right.
Where
I
they
should have
were-
said spoiler alert. But it's my life, so how do I know that? It's weird when you talk about your life. You don't normally say spoiler alert
That's true.
because these are things that I've lived it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's spoiler alert.
it's not a story.
It's not a story.
It's real life.
It's real life. It's
Yeah.
do or die.
Yeah.
So now Mando, as a video podcast and an audio podcast.
Okay.
Yes, and normally I don't take my helmet off, but
Normally.
for YouTube. I
So
do.
in the entire 2-3 seasons, you haven't taken
It's
off
2 seasons.
2 seasons. You
Yeah.
haven't taken off your helmet once.
Spoiler alert again. I don't know. But, in my heart of hearts, I don't like taking the helmet off.
I thought you were Pedro Pascal,
Who is that?
some guy
Is
from
that like Hilaria Baldwin?
oh, Lord.
All right, I'm not gonna keep up doing the Mandalorian for a fucking hour.
I just read up on this Hilaria Baldwin.
Hilaria. You know, it's
Hilaria.
whatever. The whole situation is hilarious. So, yeah, that was interesting.
Because I saw a lot of tweets about it making fun of her. There's a lot of memes going on, but I didn't understand it.
And you were like, what is this? Let me get into it.
So like 8 days later, I mean, it happened December 21st, according to this article I read by The Insider, that this woman was born in Massachusetts.
Alec Baldwin's wife. You take
Alec
that back.
Baldwin's
Not just this
wife.
woman.
Apparently her name was
Hilaria.
originally
Hillary.
Hillary. And yeah, she's been claiming that she's from Spain and has a Spanish and has done the Spanish accent for the last like 8 to 9 years, almost 10 years now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was trying to follow it as well. I caught wind of it on Twitter. I think
Yeah.
how most people caught wind of it. And then you do a deep dive because, like, this is so savory.
Yeah.
Like this type of story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of those, like, what? Or why?
Yeah,
It's
more of a
almost,
why.
I don't know, Norm Macdonald has this one joke where he goes, "You ever lie for no reason?" Someone says, like, "Hey, have you seen, like, the movie Heat?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yes." He just says yes. And then even though he's never seen it,
I've had a friend like
and
that.
he's like, well, I have nothing to gain by this lie. And to me, that's just so funny. It's almost, this is a case study in that.
yeah.
Just there's no, what's the point? There's so much downside
Yeah.
to this house of cards tumbling or whatever. And what's the upside of being vaguely Spaniard?
Yeah. It was very
Or
odd.
Spanish, whatever.
Because like I had a friend that was similar, not similar at all, but they would lie about random things, and it was funny because we would be somewhere and someone would be like, "Oh, I have this dog," and be like, "I have a dog too. Yeah, I love dogs." And then like an hour later, as we're driving home, like, "You have a dog?" He's like, "No, why the fuck would I have a dog?" I was like, "Yeah, but you just said you had a dog." And he was like, "Yeah, I was just saying that." But in like
yeah.
conversation, But this is something like, oh, you take on a whole identity. That is so odd to me.
Yeah, for me, it's just sort of what was the end game, or
Yeah.
what did you see as the end result of this, or how could this have ended
It is amazing that it went this long before anyone being
Noticed.
a little... Yeah.
And I think what kind of tipped it off was...
The Amy Schumer thing?
No, what was that?
Because I think Amy Schumer posted a joke, just like a picture or something, and then she, like Hilaria, took it a certain way. Like it was just like an innocent joke or something, and then she kind of took offense to it and thought it was body shaming or something.
The general joke?
I think Amy Schumer posted a picture of like... that Hilaria has posted in the past of like her in like a skimpy outfit or whatever, holding her baby or something, like a nightgown or something, and then holding the baby in like a perfect J.J. Abrams lens flare or something.
Yeah.
And then she claimed that it was her, Amy Schumer just making a joke, like, I could be butchering this whole story, but basically just like a joke that this is Amy Schumer, and it's obviously not Amy Schumer holding the baby. And then I guess some people in the comments section, people come and tear things apart and twist things. And then she thought, I don't know, I think she just misconstrued this post and maybe thought there was ill will involved when maybe Amy Schumer was just kind of being playful. And then she like posted a video response or something. And then I think there was not much of an accent. I was trying to pinpoint the accent as well because it was very elusive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be heavy. Sometimes it would like not be there. Sometimes it would be slight.
Did you see her like on talk shows? She was like on Good Morning America, the Today Show.
There's a couple words heavy.
Yeah.
The most famous one is how do you say cucumber?
Oh,
where she's doing a cooking segment for the Today Show.
Yes, that's what it was. And
she's like, how do you say cucumber or whatever?
Yeah.
So that's like the memeable one.
Yeah.
How do you say cucumber? And then you see the interviews and everything, and it's interesting how she's pretty good at leading you to believe
that she's Spanish.
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh, you're from Spain? Be like, I lived there till I was 19 or something.
And then I moved to New York.
But she would never say I was born in Spain.
Yeah.
Like, she was very good about...
and she wouldn't say I am Spanish, like I come, So I guess, even for a lot of listeners who are like following right now, they don't really know the full story. So Alec Baldwin married this woman. Her name was Hillary, and she took on this name, Hilaria, how do you, whatever. She Spanish-fied this name.
Yeah.
And she, over like time, had the Spanish accent, given that she was like a Massachusetts white girl. Mm-hmm. And her dad, I think, published something a couple years ago saying like he doesn't have an ounce of like Spanish blood in him.
Yeah. So
she developed this accent, and for years, Alec Baldwin's even been selling like he's doing like imitations of his wife and
with an accent,
and then you'll be like, oh, I'm doing this accent because my wife is Spanish, and then recently, a couple weeks ago, it turned out like this woman isn't Spanish. She doesn't have an accent. And she's been putting on this like Spanish front for like almost a decade now.
Yeah.
And it's like the Rachel Dolezal of
influencer or celebrity wife.
It's weird. So the thing I think where I was reading, one of the things that they noted was like one of the things that exposed this was I think a YouTube I think she did a podcast with like these other three women, her friends, and in the comments they're like, I went to high school with this girl and she did not have a Spanish accent. And I think that is what it made this intriguing for like this quote unquote, what the article call her, Instagram journalist, investigative journalist, which I didn't know was the title.
Sure.
And that is what
opened the door.
They start digging, and
it is pretty amazing though for 10 years.
Yeah.
You
think she does it at home with her husband?
Well, I also noticed that she weaned off of it. It was like a slow disappearance of it. Because if you look at her most recent Instagram posts and stuff, when I was doing some sleuthing of my own, where I'm like, what is this? Let me see what's going on.
Work of your own.
Yeah, when I put on my spotlight hat, my spotlight for bullshit, I was looking at her post and she just had a regular voice. Mm. But then when I found some other people were creating huge case studies. Like some people on Instagram had stories pointing out like all these instances. Yeah. And that's always fun to just like dig into. But I couldn't really hear the accent on her most recent post. So I think she was trying to like phase out of it. Like, all right, it got me what I needed.
Yeah.
And now let's...
And the thing is, like, this is something you can't come back from. Like no one will
she'll
ever.
be fine. You know what I mean?
She'll be fine, but it's just something so like embarrassing that, like in that sense, in the form of like you can't come back from this embarrassment, like a public embarrassment.
Rich people are so protected. Like, sure, it's mortifying for you or I, but they are in such a bubble and such a cocoon that they'll be with high society again. Like a couple weeks will go by. It'll be this thing that's in the back of everyone's mind, and everyone will be oh so lovely in person.
Yeah, and then be like, oh my God, you know?
Probably like they'll roll their eyes.
Yeah.
At home with each other and stuff, but high society wise, like she'll be fine. You know?
Yeah.
It'll be business as usual and be like, oh, I guarantee you there's so many of those type of things once you get to that level.
Yeah.
Just like weird stories that only they know about. And yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, but I think, so it goes back to why would someone do this? And not to be like, make everything about race, but I've noticed even, you know, a lot of my white friends growing up in Northern Virginia, a lot of them would, you know, like to be like, oh, I'm like 9/10 Cherokee or like 1/8 Native American. And I'm like, how?
Sure.
And they're like, I don't know, but it's somewhere in my lineage. And I think you're looking for this spice into your identity to like make your background a little bit more dynamic rather than being like, oh, my grandfather came to America from Lithuania in 1880, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we have this other very cultural, ethnic background that it's like full of history and, you know, versus like, you know, like you'll speak to some people and be like, you know, my family survived a war and escaped this country and came here as refugees. And we like, I think some individuals want that kind of backstory. But also telling this story right now, explaining this, I went back to just watch like a random episode, and I noticed that when I try to explain things, nothing makes sense. Like, I don't know.
One thing I've learned about myself is when I try to elaborate, I do the opposite. I confuse everybody.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Hold on, let me see. I have a note here. It was the TLC show where I was talking about Mama's Boys.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to explain the whole concept and premise of it. And I'm like, I'm not doing as good of a job
I'm not
as I
doing Mama
think.
Boys justice.
As like, I'm not explaining this as good as I think I'm explaining it in the moment. And I want to the viewers and the listeners, I want to apologize for just being so scatterminded and just like going on these random tangents.
The producers of Mama's Boys.
TLC, I apologize.
Yeah, they didn't get to do that.
But anyway, we've come back from a long hiatus.
Yeah, man.
The last time I saw you, we shot a really cool little dance segment.
Yeah, just for fun because
And
we're in this little dance studio place. People didn't think that we were close to a dance
People did
studio.
not believe it.
We had to flex on those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Show them what time it is.
Where can they find this dance piece if they haven't seen it?
It's on Instagram. It's very exclusive.
Yeah. It was Instagram.
Because a lot of outlets were coming at me. They wanted to do exclusives.
Yeah.
You know, Go 90 was going to come back.
Just for this.
CISO was going to Peacock Network.
Peacock. CBS All Access.
Yeah, CBS All Access. Nat Geo Plus.
Oh, man.
Is that a thing? No, Discovery Plus. Sorry, my bad.
Everyone's coming for you.
That's
But you were like, no, this is only Instagram.
This is an IG exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I put it out there. It sent shockwaves through the internet.
That was about 2 weeks ago.
Probably 2 weeks ago, yeah.
I think I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, that was the last thing we shot, and then we one of our you know, individual. Everyone's been getting COVID.
Yes.
You know, we have one of our helpers, producers, PAs.
Yes. He's over it.
He's over. He got through.
Guess who else is over it?
Who else?
Come on, me.
You got it too.
I got it, baby.
Oh, man, I thought we didn't film because you were out of town, but no, I'm kidding.
I was trying to. I was gonna go. I was gonna go Bay Area.
But
then
for
I
New
got
Year's?
it. Yeah, just I always go there, you know.
Yeah. So how did
then I got it.
when did you kind of notice like, oh, there's something?
I was at a rave downtown, you know, and I was in the mesh tank top and a Speedo and roller skates and such. I've done it a million times before. Not a big deal. Meet some new friends and and it's great. It's a great way to meet people, talk about best practices in avoiding COVID.
Because that's where you do it, yeah.
Yeah, because like you'll read the news and you'll catch it on TV and all that, but like, it's not until you're like in a mesh tank top on roller skates and in a Speedo and you're actually talking to the people.
Yeah.
Because those are people on the ground and they have real life experience.
In tune.
They're in tune.
Yeah.
So like dancing and sweating and stuff and getting COVID tips, just like what's the, and it's hard to hear because the music.
Yeah.
So you got to get like really close in their face and you go, how do you avoid COVID? What's your favorite strategy? And they go, what? And I go, hold on a second. Yeah, how do you avoid COVID? What do you find is the best practices? And then they go, I'll tell you after you kiss me. And I go, huh, anything for COVID.
Because that's common in these raves.
That's common in these raves. Yeah, it's like a bartering system, And obviously, I want these COVID tips.
You kiss for information.
You kiss for information. I go, all right, with that out of the way, what's the best way to avoid COVID?
And did this guy tell you?
Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah. It was a girl, though.
Oh, okay.
Bro, I don't like this. Just because I'm in a mesh tank top and roller skates?
No,
in a Speedo, you assume?
Oh, I guess the story kind of changed over the last 24 hours since I've heard it.
Oh, I told it to you before?
I think so. It's very familiar. But okay, I'm mistaken. So this individual shared you, and then you're like, oh, I think I feel these symptoms.
I think I've got it. I thought that I got the info, but I just got the Rona. Oh, I got it. How did I get on this tangent of roller skating?
How did you
know that I got it?
Yeah, where you're like, oh. In the TikTok world, the uh-oh moment.
It's like the opposite of Oprah's aha moment.
Yeah.
The uh-oh moment.
That TikTok sound.
So I had been pretty good, like mask everywhere I go pretty much and avoiding crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
And
were you like eating something and you're like, I can't taste this? Or were you drinking something?
No. All right. So like I had done... Or somebody asked me to do their podcast, and I was like, okay, yeah. Like we do the podcast and stuff, but I'm realizing like we're kind of far away.
Yeah, we got literally
We've got
6
distance,
feet,
and this is kind of like a bigger space.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do this podcast, and then I go there, and then it's not until I get there that I realize it's kind of close. It's in a room, and it's a little closer than I'd like, but I had to drive a while to get there and stuff, and I'm like, am I just being paranoid or? I'm like, whatever. I just kept it internal. I go, ideally, there'd be more space.
Yeah.
It looks fine. Everyone looks fine. It wasn't a lot of people or anything, but it was just like producer, this person, and then like their significant other or whatever in like a different room. I'm like, that'll probably be fine. But in hindsight, like I felt fine and all that. Like he looked fine too and all that. And then, go about my life.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days later, maybe 2 days later, I feel like a little tickle in the back of my throat. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like a tickle and like a scratch, just enough where I'm like, this may be something or started something. So then I'm just curious. I go, let me get a rapid test. Or I was going to do one of those drive ones or whatever, but like, I've heard stories where they go to Dodger Stadium and they're just in line for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd love to avoid that if I can. So then I looked around and then they had these rapid tests in Woodland Hills. Mm-hmm. I forget who does it, what the name of it.
There's a lot of like urgent clinics or...
Well, there's this whole... It's not even that. There's this new market. There's this like new industry that's popped up because of COVID. It's just for bougie people who don't want to do the drive.
Yeah,
they just want to pay a lot of money to take a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute rapid test or whatever. And this was that I'm learning. It was in that Topanga Canyon Mall or whatever. That Woodland Hills. Yeah. So it was $175.
Oh wow,
which is it's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
I did that in Beverly Hills for like 100, about the same. Yeah, 15 or 50 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cut to the front of the line and do the thing. So I did that, and I go there, and It's very it's almost like they gutted a ballroom or something because it was hardwood floors. It looked like a dance studio.
Oh, wow.
So first you go into this, it looks like a Botox clinic or something. They have these people, and they have all these Fiji waters and shit. Because they're charging you an arm and a leg. They have to make it seem like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
They're like, hi, did you check in? You do the whole thing online. You have like a code and shit. Okay, you're gonna blow your nose, and then you're gonna go into that room, and then so you go into this giant room. It looks like a dance studio, and there's just like a flash dance chair in there. It's just one chair, and it's giant, and then there's some ladies in PPE and stuff, and I'm like, just to warn you, because I've gotten the COVID test before when I was doing the Bill Burr production thing. I cough, because I was expecting it to go in my brain. That's how they did it last time.
It doesn't go too deep. Yeah,
this one was like nothing. It's
like the little.
It was like hardly anything.
Enough for a tickle.
No, this was like fine. So I'm like,
I freaked out.
It was a false alarm. You're like, get away from me. So she did that, and then I just kind of puttered around the mall because it was going to take 10, 15 minutes to get my results. So I went. I got a coffee, a really shitty cappuccino. Lady was nice. Girl was like really. I'm sure she doesn't see a lot of people just. Because they took away the benches and stuff now. You can't even.
Wow.
You can't even. You just have to walk. You're just like an aimless soul at the mall. I don't know why anyone goes to the mall for anything because you can't. It's like a night. Everywhere's a nightclub now because of COVID. You know, if you go to the nightclub, they're like, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. You can never just like stand or sit unless you spend $5,000. Like sitting becomes a premium.
You go shopping, you can't try clothes on. No fitting rooms. It's just kind of like,
hey, it's like malls are saying, just give us money.
Yeah.
For no reason. Just give us money. What do you have to offer? Just give us money, please. Can I try the clothes on? No. Can I sit down? No. Can I eat? You walk around, but you can't stay still because then you're just like a COVID cloud. So you got to keep it moving. So I get a shitty coffee and it's gross. But I smile and pretend that I love it. And then I actually went to Coffee Bean to get like a regular.
Oh, man.
I'll do that, man.
As long as
coffee is cheap enough where I'm like, this sucks, and I got burned. I'm tossing it in the trash, and I'm gonna get a proper cappuccino.
And how long is it? 1 or 2 sips for you to know that?
I know pretty fast. It was just like pure milk. It's like I was a toddler. She gave me a coffee thing full of milk.
Okay.
Dumped it. Got a real cappuccino, but then I walked back, and I was worried that she would see that it's in a new thing, and maybe she'd be heartbroken. So I kind of hit it with my body. I was like, oh, she can't know that I got it. So anyways, then I get my results. It was negative.
Okay.
It's negative COVID test.
Yeah. And this was only
I'm negative.
A few days. Yeah, because I remember
it's like 2 days after I did the thing.
So with these rapid tests, because I got a rapid test because I was going to hang out with some friends, and I was like, oh, like.
Yes, I was concerned about maybe going to the Bay Area, and I wanted to know. Yeah. I wanted to be in the clear before I headed out.
So I've done the rapid test, but then when I went back to like the next day or later that night to read about it, the rapid test only works when you're like in the thick of COVID. Like like in the middle of Corona, like where all your symptoms are kind of showing. That's usually when it comes out positive. You know, I think in the early stages, the deep nasal swabs that you got when you at Universal,
that would have got it.
That I think it picks up early symptoms.
I see. So
it's that negative.
In my mind, it was like negative, and then later that day or later the next day, then it started to hit me.
Oh, later that night. So like you get
probably
home?
Later that night. Yeah, okay. Later that night. So like maybe 10 or 11 or something.
Oh man.
Then chills, and then body ache was crazy. So probably had that for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Just like old man, dude. I was like Yoda.
Damn.
But I had nothing to do, so I just chilled in bed.
Yeah.
I wrote it out the whole time. I had nothing to I was just like in bed. I'm like, why not? I probably could have got out and done some stuff.
Yeah.
Just like walked around the house or walked around the neighborhood. But I was like, let me just be in this coffin of a bed, and like everything that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just chill.
Yeah.
And then after those 2 or 3 days, I was kind of fine.
Okay.
But I did notice things were salty. People talk about losing your taste and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't lose it. Just things were a little different. Like things were super salty to me. Yeah.
Well, so like taste wise.
Taste wise, it'd be
But
like
you could
overwhelmingly
still
salty.
kind of taste flavor.
Yeah, I could taste stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I feel like maybe I lost, but I think I was just stuffed up for a day. Because then the only things that remained for me, I just had like a runny nose, kind of like a runny nose and just stuffed up nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so then I in the middle of all this like feeling like shit, maybe a day. So the worst of it was maybe 2-3 days. On day 4, day 5, I was like, let me get tested again. This feels like something. So then I went and I got like a drive-through one.
Okay.
I went to Curative,
Yeah.
So what they had like a
Damn,
drive.
you found open slot? That's rare.
Yeah. So there's one in Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And again, you have to wait forever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, this parking lot is this big?
Like an hour or two, or
Yeah, probably like 2 hours.
oh shit. I got one coming up on Tuesday, and I'm
Nice.
just
For a
dreading.
shoot? Or just
No,
for kicks?
just yeah,
Just to know.
yeah.
So I finally did it. Did a drive-through. This one wasn't a nose thing. They just did a run.
The mouth
you do it
swab?
around your mouth. And you do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And so I did that. Put it in the vial, upside down, all that. You put it in this little trash type thing.
Yeah.
Then you go about your life, and then they hit you up whether
Like
you have it or
24
not.
hours later.
Yeah, it's probably a little more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then it said positive. I'm like, shit. Okay. It's a little peace of mind. You go, okay,
Yeah.
at least what I had was not nothing.
Yeah.
You know. But thank God I've felt like that before. You know.
Yeah.
It was just like a bad flu to me.
Yeah.
And then they actually have someone call you too, someone from the city and all that.
Really?
Yeah, just because they want to learn
Like
more about
tracers,
it.
Or
They just kind of want to know, like, did you see anybody from this day to this day, and just break it down. They just want more data, you know. So they go like to try to pinpoint how you got it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and then also like what the symptoms were. So I was talking with this person and just telling them my experience and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell you, because then for the longest time I'm like, what's the protocol here? Obviously I wasn't seeing anybody.
Yeah.
I was just chilling at home. I was gonna go to the Bay Area, but I'm like, I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to the Bay Area. I just
Yeah.
gotta. So I just spent Christmas and like New Year's just holed up at home pretty much,
Yeah.
which is fine. You know, like at least there was all that time to do nothing rather than it was kind of a perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Because like no one's doing anything really.
Yeah.
Everyone's chilling at home
Everything's
anyway.
just at
Everything's
home.
closed anyways, really.
Yeah.
And then they say, I was reading up on it, and even the person that I talked to, they go, you're good like 10 days after your symptoms, after the first onset of symptoms,
Yeah.
is when it's okay to like re-enter society. You don't have to
Okay.
quarantine as much anymore, or you don't have to
Okay.
quarantine because it's your body has fought it and beaten it so that it's okay. So
Okay.
so I was beyond that because mine was on the 22nd or whatever. So when I talked to her, she's like, actually, like a letter will come to you. Then they send you like a DocuSign, and they sit for you to quarantine or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, you're beyond that.
20
You've already
seconds
done it.
when you went through it, or 20 seconds when you got tested?
Symptoms.
Okay.
It was like first onset of symptoms.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Oh man.
And now I'm invincible. I made out with everybody on the way here. I was joking with Miguel. I got my new thing is when I'm at a grocery store, I'll just like you know get up to someone close to the grocery store and I'll go, I've already had it, and just keep going.
Just keep going.
Hey,
You're safe.
psst, I've already had it, and then I just keep on shopping.
I see people still going to like parties and weddings, and I think every invite, if you're gonna have a gathering, I think it should be like mandate law that if you're gonna have an event like 4 or more people, you should say, hey, everyone's welcome. We're gonna try to be cautious and socially distance, but just heads up, one person here does have COVID.
Yeah. So then you take away the
Yeah.
possibility in their mind. They're like, oh, no one has it. It's
Yeah,
fake.
yeah.
But you go, someone has it.
Yeah, just one person.
Hopefully you're not seated next to them.
Yeah.
You still want to come?
Well, no one would do that because they don't want to lose people. But I feel like if it's like legally required, like a Surgeon General on
Warning.
invites, you know, Like,
Yeah, then it's like that game Mafia. It's like one of us has COVID.
someone busts in and they're like, all right, let me see the invites. Did you put the disclaimer in here?
So that's the juicy details. So now
Okay.
I'm wondering, like, how long do you have the antibodies for?
Like, I heard, because my friend had COVID early, like back in March, like you have it for like 8 to 9 months or something. I think.
Nice.
Look, things are changing.
I'm gonna book my ticket to Wuhan, baby.
Don't take my word. You know, please Google this. We won't Google it, but you guys should Google it.
Yeah, please.
And if you do Google it, email us.
At
But
fahimanwardancehour@gmail.com.
thank you.
Let us know what you find in Googling.
But yeah, you know, there are cases, rare cases, where people catch it again. And there are rare cases. I was reading about patients in New York that are getting, I think, I forgot the term, but it's like they're becoming, the psychotic behavior has like developed because of COVID. This woman,
I'm gonna go crazy.
yeah. I was reading this because I think it was a New York Times article. This doctor in like Long Island, New York, his patient was like, after she got COVID, she start visualizing her like killing her kids, and then she was like, I need to get help, and you know,
I feel like that may have been dormant. Maybe she had that pre-COVID.
and it just kind of unlocked that.
You gave her an excuse.
Yeah.
COVID made me kill my kids. Okay.
But apparently, there's been multiple individuals that have experienced that.
Yeah,
But
I wanna hear
okay,
this
man,
shit,
it's
dude. You're like, oh, yeah, go. Well, I heard that people have been having psychotic episodes, and this lady wanted to kill her kids, but I'm glad you're over it. Good luck with everything.
good luck. If you have any ideas of me, just
During the podcast, you can see the moment where I'm like thinking about tearing you apart, limb from limb.
oh god.
You're just trying to explain TLC poorly,
So this guy would bring his girlfriend
and
to
in my
his
mind,
mother.
I'm just tearing your face open like a chimp.
Just rip it from. Terrifying.
Yeah, that's the
but-
scoop.
I think enough time has gone by over these last couple weeks where, you know, I've been. Oh, my dad came. My dad.
Oh yeah, how was that? How was your adventure?
Oh, man, that was interesting. Like, there's nothing to do in California, like right now, because everything is closed.
Yeah.
So he's visited Los Angeles before, so I couldn't take him to like, here's Hollywood Boulevard, here's Venice Beach, because he's already seen it, you know, like I can't do this. And this was like maybe 6 years ago. So I took him out to Joshua Tree for like a day. We did a day trip there, came back early, came back late, went early and came back late. Took him some like other things, but then every night I'm like 4 or 5 p.m. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I showed you everything there is to see for the day.
Yeah.
Let's go back home. And, you know, I'm in a small apartment where I'm like, I guess we'll start a movie. The movie will finish at like 8 p.m. And I'm like, we can watch another movie. Like, I don't know.
Or you're having a fake yawns. It's 8 p.m. after a movie, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's pretty late. Oh, 8 p.m.
Because, like, you know, these days feel like
They do.
longer nights anyway. But yeah, it was just this thing where, like, because before I'd be like, all right, let's go out to a restaurant. We could sit and chat for a couple hours. By the time we get seated or food, like 2 hours can be killed.
Yeah.
Going out to like eat. But now I'm like, well, guess we can watch 2 movies tonight, you know? And but it was cool. It was cool. You know, we got to just check out some other little like sunken city in San Pedro, the Korean Friendship Bell, some other like little obscure.
Yeah, you get to go off the beaten path. There's so little to do.
Yeah.
You're like, let's do all this stuff on TripAdvisor that I never used to do.
Yeah, and then, you know, I was like, Joshua Tree be a good, it's 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. Spend a couple hours there hiking. And then, but yeah, after that, I've just kind of been quarantined, self-isolating, just cause, and it's given me a lot of time to think about a lot of things that trouble or bother me. And especially on TikTok.
Oh boy.
But then this TikTok thing goes into a bigger thing about food reviewers. And I want to know what your thoughts are on
Food reviewers?
Yeah, back in the day we had, and what was it? Andrew Zimmerman, or no, not that guy who does like wildest foods.
Yeah, like that guy he was like a fatter guy who just went to villages and ate what little food they had left.
And then he would just be like,
they probably rolled their eyes like, oh no,
here he comes.
Here comes the fat American to eat what like the last beetle that we have.
Yeah.
Like, like don't you have enough delicious food in America? You got to eat our gross beetle. Like, let us have this. This is a delicacy. He's like, oh, look at this here. It's a delicacy. Like, fuck, that was ours.
We were trying to breathe.
Yeah, we're so skinny.
But yeah, you had him. You had the great Anthony Bourdain.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have like all these Pat and Malax. Like every network has like two food reviewers. Where like we're gonna travel America and try food and explore culture. But one thing that's bothered me a lot now that it's moved on a smaller scale to TikTok, there's like local food reviewers, like the foodie, quote unquote foodie scene. So LA has a foodie scene where it's like, hey, we're going to try the best food in all Los Angeles. And it's always this. It's always like they explain the taco or the burrito or the burger, and then they take a bite and it's like, They always got to roll the eyes, make the sound, and be like, this is the best burger I've ever had in my life. Next week there, I know another burger spot, same reaction. And I'm like, can you just be honest? Just be like, take a bite. Okay, that's good. I like it. It's not the best, but, I wouldn't come back for it. But I do, like, why do you got to...
They're giving people the money shot. They want to see that ecstasy.
And that ecstasy...
Lies.
I'm repulsed by it. Like,
I don't want to see that.
I'm physically...
I don't want to see you enjoy it that much.
I have maybe I did have COVID because I'm having these psychotic thoughts about these food reviews.
Do you hope that they get COVID and they can't even taste it? That'd be a great. Oh. They do a review. They go, "Oh, it's so good right here. The juice is flowing." Oh. Okay, that's it. Here, give me that one. No, life is over.
I wish that upon.
Give me that gun.
I've just seen there's this TikTok of this girl who that's how she found out. She was like put a camera in her car filming herself, and we have a cup of Starbucks and the mocha whatever mint, and then she drinks it and she was like, I don't know, it doesn't really taste like anything. And then she like pauses and she's like, it doesn't taste like anything, and she drinks it again and she's like, oh shit.
That's how you know.
That's how you know.
All right, you got beef.
Yeah,
you've got beef with the TikTokers. Oh yeah, I noticed. It like made my voice really. It fucked up my voice.
So like deeper, raspier.
Yeah, like Barry White and shit. Like on the later end. Like I posted it when I was on the mend. I was getting better. That Wonder Woman self tape. So if you watch my IG, and I'm like Fahim Anwar self tape for Wonder Woman 1984. If you listen, if you listen to my voice, it's like kind of raspy and deeper.
Yeah, you weren't doing your voice. It was your voice.
Yeah, I wasn't doing Mandalorian. that was just me talking. So that was it. It was like worse. Yeah, it's weird how I'll do that to you. I did see Wonder Woman 1984. Did you see it?
No. I refuse to give him the views.
Oh damn!
I'm not a Gal Gadot fan.
Yes. You've got many gripes. it's hard to navigate the world being all able.
It really
keeping tabs.
Oh, yeah.
Of all of these people who are not in line with your philosophy and have wronged you.
That's the only power I have is to not give them.
This is true.
The clicks.
Vote with your dollar.
Yeah.
And your click.
That's all I can do. But I heard it was awful though. Not because I heard the first one was good. Like I've heard that one was really good, but the second one.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I've seen enough like clips everyone posts on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram of like just awful CGI and just weird her lassoing an airplane and just flying away. You know? But okay.
It was almost like a super cut of just dudes getting rejected as well. Like for some reason they really wanted to make a meal out of like showing how many times they get hit on.
Yeah.
Which I don't deny. I guess that's what's interesting about being a female filmmaker.
Yeah.
It is illuminating because obviously I'm thinking about it. Like they just highlighted how many times like Gal Gadot gets hit on.
Yeah.
And maybe that is to create this juxtaposition between her and Kristen Wiig. Why am I blanking? Is it Kirsten or Kirsten? Kristen Wiig, right?
Kristen.
Yeah, it's Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So, because she's more of like a nerd type character.
Okay, so she's in the film,
Yeah.
She's like the assistant
villain.
or...
Yeah, she's like a villain.
Oh, she's a villain.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's just like crazy how many times. You know how in Mad Men, anytime a woman shows up on screen, you're like, all right, Don Draper's gonna have sex with her.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
with Wonder Woman, anytime like a dude pops up, it's like, all right, he's gonna ask her out and just get like shut down immediately.
Yeah.
So there's probably a super cut of like 50 guys in that movie be like, what's her name? Diana. I've been meaning to. Oh, okay. Diana. What? Oh, Diana, you look ravaged. Oh. Yeah. So a lot of dudes getting rejected.
Someone needs to make that edit. Make that
The
cut.
supercut of the guys getting shut down.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in bed for days, and then you're out, and then I'm assuming you're just kind of chilling at home. What are you watching? What are you doing? What are you keeping entertained with during this Christmas?
Oh, Mandalorian.
A Mandalorian.
So I binged that.
Okay.
I got Disney Plus. First, I tried to get I hit you up. I was
Yeah,
like,
you hit me up.
Yo, you have a Disney Plus?
Yeah.
You're like, sorry, man.
Yeah,
and then I threw my phone and go, what the fuck are you? What good are you
I was
for?
like, I got everything but Disney Plus.
Bastard.
You get one HBO Max, I got you. You want Amazon,
I got all that shit. I don't need you for that. I need you for
man.
Disney Plus. And when I needed you most, you weren't there.
I had to cut Disney Plus because of
Because of what?
my political
Oh,
views.
damn. You got to
I
vote
cut-
with your dollar. All right.
Yeah.
So then I hit my brother up. I'm like, yo, do you have the Disney Plus? He goes, I'm using my friend's. Let me see. So he back channeled.
Yeah.
Tried to ask a friend if I could. And I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I could be getting this for free, but this is time spent not watching The Mandalorian.
That's true.
He's like, just wait. And I'm looking into it. It's like $6.
Yeah.
I got $6, baby.
But do you want to pay $6 for another?
Look, worst case scenario, it's $6 for a month.
That's true. But what are your subscriptions right now looking like?
Amazon.
That you are paying for?
Amazon, Hulu, with Live TV.
Oh, that's a lot of money, dude.
I know it's a lot of money. I might.
Are you watching live TV as often?
Sports.
Okay.
Sometimes Seahawks game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Netflix, Hulu.
No, that's my brother's.
Oh, okay. Prime and Hulu.
Prime and Hulu.
Okay, and everything else is just kind of like.
Piece together, scavenge.
Yeah,
Like
I mean that's
like
how
a
it is,
Jawa. I'm really getting into it. I'm like a Jawa, just scrapping
Asif was
together.
in the first
Oh
season.
yeah, he was in. Yeah, was it first or second?
I don't know. I just saw.
But
Remember
Asif's
seeing
in there.
screenshots.
It's very cool how the show. They are a bridge to comedians. Like I see, like Bill Burr is in 2 episodes.
Is
Asif is a comedian. The guy he's with, like his partner who seeks out the Mandalorian, he's a comedian as well, but he's more like UCB improv.
okay. I read somewhere that Werner Herzog, the director.
Oh yeah, he's great in it.
He's in it.
He's in it.
Oh, I thought he was like a writer or director, but he's like
No, he's in it.
He's a character.
He's a character in it. He's good too.
Is he in both seasons? I'm gonna watch it just for him.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
More season 1.
Okay.
So I paid it, and then my brother got me the info after I already paid it. I'm like, whatever. Maybe
Yeah.
for future ones I'll get it. So then I just binged it, and it's great. I love it. Favreau's he's great, man. He just keeps on.
How many did he direct? Because I know
A lot of them. He wrote and directed a lot of them, but he also assembled a team of directors. So
Yeah, I saw one was Robert Rodriguez directed one of them.
there's a great YouTube clip of Robert Rodriguez playing the acoustic guitar next to Baby Yoda. His name's not Baby Yoda, but like for
me.
for our listeners and viewers, to the layman.
Yeah.
So Baby Yoda's just like on the stone, just like rocking out, and he's just playing. It's only like 8 seconds long.
Yeah.
But I watched this video over and over again.
Oh man.
This is Robert Rodriguez jamming out, and then Baby Yoda like listening to the music too.
Yeah.
Yeah, best character, man.
Can we have a Robert Rodriguez appreciation moment?
Please.
He's one of my favorite directors. And I know a lot of people love to talk about like we need me being one of them, representation in media, we need blah, 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 but everyone talks about representation in media and film, and they always leave out Rodriguez. This guy came from, the late 80s, early 90s, got discovered when he was like 22, 23 years old. Have you heard his story? We've talked about this. We've talked about this in Rebel with that, but we have talked about this. So let's move on. Let's just
But
appreciate.
just tie it up, all right? Bullet point. What do you got?
I think he had a phase of like children's films that he was making for his children, Spy Kids, Shark
Yes.
Boy and Lava, that like everyone kind of just rolled their eyes at. But a whole generation of Gen Zs grew up on that content. But I think his catalog is something to look at, and he's done great work. And he can with proof of Mandalorian, he continues to do great work.
Yeah.
So
I'm a fan.
that's our appreciation moment.
Yes, Robert Rodriguez, if you're out there,
Please come by the podcast.
please come by the pod.
Yeah,
Bring Baby Yoda, jam out.
we'll call you in. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I'm a fan. It's a great series. It became a little. That's why I made this video on Instagram where it's not I was just like every Mandalorian episode, but it's like a love letter because I love the show.
Yeah.
And it's not every episode. It's just maybe like two or three of them.
Yeah.
But it feels to be true.
Like
so
it's
that's why
like a
funny.
pattern or something.
It's a pattern, yeah. So the pattern is episode starts and he's like, here's 1,000 credits to fix my ship. And he just like walks off and he's like, where's the nearest space bar? And he just goes to a bar somewhere on this planet.
Yeah.
And there's all these like, figures and shit. And he's like, I'm looking for Inukla or whatever. And then there's some like shadowy figure in the corner in the booth, just like with a cigarette, with like a Zippo or something. He's like, I'll help you find him. And then it says cut to 20 minutes later, and the guy's double crossed, and he's like, sorry I had to be like this, Mando. Like he's always getting double crossed.
Yeah.
Which is funny to be this hard ass bounty hunter who's like great at what he does and takes no prisoners or takes all the prisoners, whatever. For him to get double crossed this many times in the series is kind of funny. He always finds himself in a predicament that is of his own doing.
Yeah.
He's just like a bad judge of character.
It's like, come on, you're paid to like avoid these.
Like this is your jam. This is your thing. How are you this trusting of everybody? How do you find yourself in this position all the time?
So not to upset Star Wars listeners.
Yeah, because
I'm curious though. Who's Boba Fett and who's Mandalorian?
I'm bad at this shit.
Okay, so you're not the person.
So I think that's why I like The Mandalorian is because
It's like standalone.
It's pretty boilerplate. Like it's not as expansive. I don't know a ton about Star Wars. I don't know how this ties to this, and like I'm sure there are Easter eggs in The Mandalorian where people are like, oh fuck, oh my god, this is tied to this in the episode. I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's accessible for me. Because it's remedial enough where what I'm making fun of is actually what's great about it.
Yeah.
Is that it maybe it is a little formulaic, but it's executed so well that I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like a new person can jump in and enjoy
without
the
being
characters.
in that Star Wars universe.
I'm not overwhelmed by the number of characters and who's this? Why do they need to do that? Why are they on this planet?
Yeah.
You can follow along.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is funny in the comments section, some people were like, that was only like one episode.
Yeah.
Like they would come out, not a lot, because most people were like, "This is funny," or like, "I love Star Wars and this is funny," and they would tag their friends in it too. And I even wrote in the IG post, I'm like, "This is a love letter. I love the show," but it's just funny how you'll anger anybody on the internet to go, "Oh, that's only like 2 episodes actually." Okay, I still enjoy the show.
Yeah. The age-old question at this time of year.
Yes.
New Year's resolutions. What were
I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
You know why? I think we've talked about this. I just do it on the fly.
Okay.
I don't wait a whole calendar year before I decide to change course.
But you don't like that whole like fresh start, like I can keep track now from like 0 to...
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an ant doesn't know it's the new year. I don't know if that's the best response to...
No, but that makes sense. You just kind of keep going with life. And
yeah, and when things aren't working for me or I want to change things and I'll have these epiphanies living life or things I don't want to do anymore or directions I want to go. And when I feel it, it's strong enough to make me want to change course.
Yeah.
In that moment, I'm not like, too bad it just turned 2021. I got to wait till 2022
to start over. Or start something. Okay.
Yeah. I feel and I do it on the fly.
Gotcha. Okay. No resolutions.
No resolutions.
All right.
Do you?
No. I mean, no, not really.
I mean, do you normally or?
Not normally. I don't know if they're resolutions, but just like, I think I want to, in this year, and like it, for me, it's a time to like look back to like, especially like career wise, financial wise, like, okay, how did I do last year? Let me like calculate everything, like kind of like taxes, but there's a lot of things that go unreported, IRS, if you're listening. But, I'll look back to be like, all right, how did the work go? The clients go, how much did I make? What can I do better this year to like up the business? And and then it'll be like personal things like got to get into shape because quarantine weight is killing me, but it's like tiny things, but it's not like, like set in stone resolutions. Like I want to be a better person, which
That's pretty vague though.
Yeah. So, but no real resolutions. Just more of a, let me look back and see what could be done different.
You do a retrospective.
Yeah. It's for me, it's like a time of measurement because I'm like, okay, 12 months, whatever. But
I used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. It doesn't. Who knows?
I used to do that, just sort of like, am I on the right path?
Yeah.
Career-wise and all that. I'm like, is this year better than last? Am I
true.
on an upward trajectory?
Yeah.
If so, then okay, things are.
Yeah. You're on the right path. Because then I feel like a lot of people, not a lot, but this small amount that I know don't do that. And they're just stuck in this world of delusion where they just keep trying to do something that's not working for them, whether it's like acting or filmmaking. And I'm like, I'm looking in as an outsider being like, hey, man, it's not working out. Just give it up. And I don't want to be in that boat. I don't want to be like lost in like, oh no, but if I just keep going, something will work out when it won't.
Yeah, if you never assess,
Yeah.
you could just be floating in outer space forever.
Yeah. That's my fear. That's my
like good vibes will take you so far, but at a certain point, in the midst of the good vibes, you got to be like, okay, where am I? What am I trying to do?
Yeah.
You've got to chart your course a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to figure out where the blue dot is on the map.
That's true. Yeah. Christmas Day,
Yeah.
a suicide bomber went off. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, you posted a thing on TikTok that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be editing, but then I'm like, I made a tweet like news stations are like dancing and twirling or like flipping and twirling or whatever around the word terrorist and suicide bomber.
Yeah.
And then I thought of Ocean's 12.
So you made that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
So I thought about like the Ocean's 12 scene of the guy, the laser dance
With
or
that
whatever.
song.
Yeah. That was like the biggest song, like 2004.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Everyone's MySpace had that song.
But it was great. This laser field of like terrorist, all these terms that
Yeah.
you hear for a brown person all the time, and the media is just going around it.
Yeah, like
the
doing
laser's not
everything.
hitting it. Like lone wolf, all this shit. Even in one of the articles, didn't they say like he
thunder.
died in the blast?
Yeah, like a
Like no
thunderous
shit.
explosion.
The suicide bomber died in the blast.
Yeah. So this white dude in Nashville drove an RV truck full of explosives to this like downtown Nashville in front of apparently AT&T headquarters or whatever in that area because he believed 5G towers were spreading corona or some like QAnon.
Do we know
conspiracy.
if it is spreading 5G? These towers?
I don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
Hasn't been, but the crazy part is, well, there's a lot of crazy elements to this. One, his girlfriend reported him to the FBI. Nothing really. The FBI came out and said, like, these are quotes from the FBI. This man was not on our radar. Okay. And then the news. So it's like that. And then the news outlets just don't want to be like, we got hit with a suicide bomber in downtown Nashville. Like, if you look at pictures of like the devastation, he wrecked a whole block.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So, but it's been crazy because like a lot of people who aren't on social media haven't really heard about it. They just know like something explosion went off in Nashville, maybe a couple hours of news
it
coverage.
didn't pick up any steam. It's odd.
Yeah.
For what happened
Yeah.
and the destruction.
Yeah.
Was it like 2 blocks?
Something
like 3
like
blocks?
that. It was
There's picture of the stretch of this
Yeah,
street
yeah.
or whatever, and it's pretty bombed out.
It looks insane, but
Yeah, but it's not getting any coverage really.
it's not. And I don't want it to be like, oh, we're here, like, let's use the term terrorist for everyone. Everyone's a terrorist. Muslims are terrorists. What? I think it's just, you just have to, because it's not so sensationalized, it gets swept under the rug. And I genuinely, like, I did a whole documentary on this 3 years ago. 2018 was 3 years ago. Time went by quick, man. But yeah, like 3 years ago, I did this documentary on violent extremism within these white supremacy groups, and it gets so overlooked. Like even government funding funnels it towards Muslim surveillance, this program called CVE, countering violent extremism. And it like, that's where the focus has been, when it should, like, there's this growing threat that is just always kind of like, so Charlestown shooting, this dude hijacked a train in Oklahoma. I believe it was Oklahoma. Hijacked a train that like no one ever talks about, but we can talk about, all these other underwear bombers and shoe bombers and, all that jazz. Anyway, I just felt like
that was a crazy story.
Crazy, man.
But check out the TikTok. What's your TikTok again?
Ali Baluch X. I don't get why I don't post. I post maybe once every 4 months.
Yeah.
But I have my demographic is Middle Eastern men.
Uh-oh.
That's it. Like,
bro.
I don't get like
you're an incubator,
young
dude.
millennials. I don't get the 18 to 24-year-olds. I get like the 40 to 50-year-old men from like South Asia.
What's your demo? Like just sunglasses posted up next to like a Lambo with a "Hey baby" DM.
So yeah, basically that's what it is.
I love the thought process. Like, where they go, this is the one.
Yeah.
They're gonna see me posted next to this Lambo in sunglasses and saying like, "Hey sweet face," and she's gonna be like, "This is the guy."
I want to ride in his car.
It's not even his car.
It's not even his car. Yeah.
Hey, at least you got a demo.
Well, I actually go and make them unfollow me. Like, you can remove followers, because I'm like, I don't want like even if I decide to post anything, it's just gonna go to this pocket of TikTok instead of like the For You page. It's gonna go in the Fabi corner of TikTok versus like main. I don't know.
You don't want to be on Fob TikTok? What about prison TikTok? You could be on that.
Oh, I would love to be on prison TikTok.
Hey, we all do. And it's a possibility. All you got to do is kill a guy.
Yeah.
Mailbag?
The mailbag.
This is from Patrick McMartin. 1,000 People Dance Song. The song would be Uptown Funk, no questions about it.
Oh, wait.
I love the pod and the comedy.
This was a callback to a last email?
Yeah, remember that girl asked me, it's my responsibility to get this island popping.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
What song do you play?
Yeah, that's right.
And I gave a very broken down, detailed.
Yeah.
And then I finally, I didn't have all the answers until while I was talking it out. And then I think I came up with Madonna.
Okay.
Because it's got to be all walks of life. I gave my guilty pleasures and shit that would make me dance.
Yeah.
But I had to take my Fahim hat off.
Yeah.
And put my world DJ hat on.
Yeah.
And I went with Madonna.
Okay.
Because you had to hit nostalgia.
That's true.
If you're going to get 1,000 people to dance from all walks of life, you got to play on nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's just the name of the game. Thank you, Patrick. All right.
So he said he would do Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk.
That was his. Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
That is probably one of like the monster jams of the
it's
last.
a universal track too,
but
where
still,
like older folks can get into.
But that's not one of those where you're like, oh, and you're like reminded of the 80s. Come on, when you time travel, when a song just goes into your ear and then deep into your
you want it to
limbic
unlock
system.
something.
Yeah, it's got to unlock. It's like when those Alzheimer's patients where they play a song.
Oh yeah, from like
you
their
need that
childhood.
shit. Yes.
Yeah. And they start moving.
They don't have Alzheimer's anymore. They're like a child in the streets of New York. All right. This is from Bill A. California is the subject heading. Hey guys, love the pod. Fahim, it's great when you go on other podcasts, but it seems like you always talk about comedy as an art / the stand-up scene, and I wish you would talk more about random stuff, etc., so people could hear your jokes / thoughts and style of comedy more, because I think they would really enjoy it. Also, you should maybe list all the times you go on another podcast somewhere so we can check them.
Oh, that's a good point.
Parentheses. I know you post them on your story sometimes, but those can be missed. On an unrelated note, in your experience, is it true a lot of people are moving out of California because of high taxes / fires / homelessness / etc., or is it just exaggerated? As a side note, is California still as good as what it is / was cracked up to be? Great pod, guys. Keep it up. Thanks, guys. Bilbo. Thank you, Bilbo. What, Bilbo? He's Bilbo, bro.
Bill, last name Bo.
Just Bilbo. Bilbo, one word.
Oh, Bilbo.
I mean, it's Bill, but I think he's just...
Like Bilbo Baggins.
Sure. What other Bilbo do you know?
I've only known one. From the Shire.
As for the other podcasts I'm on, usually it's whatever they're coming at me with. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when I'm a guest on other people's podcasts, they are comedy slanted and they'll ask me these questions. So it's hard for me to steer the ship. They're steering. Yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to like take it off whatever track they're doing. So if it slants that way when I'm on these other ones, they're the host. So I kind of go where they go. Yeah. But I mean, that's what's kind of great about having this podcast is it can just meander. It can hit everything. You can hit that shit. It can, when we talk about this bomber in Nashville, we could talk about me getting COVID. We could talk about, it's whatever. It's very open-ended. Yeah. And it's a home game. You get to be you. Yeah. I've always thought that about, I don't know. I think comedy is the best whenever it's a home game. Like I've done some late nights before, and it's cool to do, but it's very much an away game. You're doing stand-up comedy in a vacuum. They're not there for you. It's cool to do. You know, it's a skill in itself to try to like build a late night set and all that. But there's no real momentum. It's just like 0 to 60 in 5 minutes or whatever. But then it's very different than when I did my special. When you do your special, it's like a celebration of like they're there for you. Yeah. You've been working on this hour for however long, and they're coming to you. You're not doing your thing somewhere else. Yeah. I think the same is true with podcasting as well. Part of it's vibe too. Like certain people's energies are just very complimentary. Like whenever I do Santino's, or Santino does, I got to get him back on this as well. But like we're on the same wavelength. Like we're silly, we like to play, we improv with each other, and he's like silly. Yeah. Some people are like really nuts and bolts and serious, and then you can't ram against that. Yeah. There's not as much give and take or whatever. It's like dancing or something. It's like a dance partner. So there's that. Well, at least we got this. You know what I mean? At least you got this, Bilbo. And then I guess I will post. I'll retweet or I'll put it in my stories. But I don't know what else to do when I do someone else's podcast.
I guess, maybe
mention it.
Yeah, on here. That way we, the listeners, and we can go and check it out.
All right. I did community service with Craig Conant. I believe that's where I got COVID. So you guys can check. Is that bad?
No.
Did I throw him under the bus?
No.
He's told people. That's his podcast. It's on YouTube.
So you did community service.
And that was a good one though. Check it out. Honestly, that was a fun and that was a good episode.
Because people want to see different sides of Fahim. Because this is like a very, I think, that's why I kind of like this. Our podcast is because we can be our very authentic selves. Like we don't have to be turned on. Yeah. Like we don't have to be we don't come in with like low energy, and when the mics turn on, we got to turn up to high energy. Our energy is very consistent.
Yes, and that's what's trying to reconcile what you want to do and also what you feel comfortable doing and the landscape of podcasting as well, and people's expectations and their affinities for certain styles. Like there are certain podcasts where they're ball breakers. Yeah. And it's just like kind of like ragging and zinging on each other and stuff. And that's just not me. Yeah. I didn't grow up that way. That's just not my vibe. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's
like we enjoy listening to it, but you don't know if you would be able to participate to that level.
Yeah, I'm not a great ball buster. Yeah. That's just not my style or whatever. Yeah. But there are some people who love that type of podcast.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then like you're not that, so all I want to do is be as me as I can. I don't like being anything that I'm not. So I'd rather just do what I do, and if an audience fucks with that and gravitates toward that, that's great. Yeah. And I like that there's gears. Like, again, we've talked about sort of just my regular being. Yeah. People would have no idea I do stand-up or whatever. I'm not like I like being able to talk about a regular thing. Yeah. And then go into silly, like something sparks my imagination, and then I can just go down this rabbit hole of being silly like that. But being nimble, that's kind of more valuable to me than sort of like being known as the high octane guy, or because then that just feels disingenuous, number one, and then also it just feels like creative handcuffs, where I gotta be on 11 my whole life. There's no off. I like painting with all the colors. Yeah. Sometimes I want to get serious and talk about something, or expand on a thought that I've had in my mind, and maybe it's not the most hilarious thing in the world, but maybe it is helpful to someone out there. Maybe it's helpful for me to even get it out there. you're allowed to be multidimensional. You know, just because we're comedians doesn't mean that we need to be clowns all the time.
Yeah. And I think a lot
And I'm
of
not
people,
knocking. There's some people are on different ends of the spectrum and all that stuff when it comes to their energy and like how much humor they inject into everything.
Everyone has a different style.
Everyone has a different style, and everyone does what is natural to them.
Yeah.
And that's kind
different
of
style and different energy, and you know, you have yours, and what makes you that's what makes you unique.
We've got soothing voices.
According to
some people.
Yeah.
That helps them paint. We know for a fact two people are benefiting from our soothing voices, and they are painters.
You know, that also kind of, I like, it's a great compliment to have that, you know, people can throw
some might say the best.
And I'm like, oh shit, we're over here talking about like a lot of the Mandalorian suicide bombings, and are they like, what? Are they like the fuck? Because I had a different topic today that I was like, and I actually have had this topic for like 4 weeks now, and I don't know if I should ever bring it up.
Interesting.
And I'm always like, this might just be too weird. It's about bestiality. That I'll just leave it at that. But then, you know, to these painters, I'm like, well, they'd be like, all right, well, that's enough for today. Let me put that paint away.
They put their brush away.
Yeah.
They go, this can't influence my art here. Yeah. I think we'll get into that, but
one day.
Maybe
it's
not
in
this
the notes.
We've got to get through this mailbag. Yeah. That's too much of a.
Yeah.
It's too meaty to.
Again, it's been sitting here for 4 weeks, and every week I'm like, nah, this is not the week. This is not the week to
it is kind of hard to be listening to a conversation and you go, like it's jump roping. Is this the time that I hop in? There's no natural in for bestiality.
There is.
Like, speaking of fucking bears, what? People moving out of California, that part of this, let's see.
Oh yeah, a lot have been, but I don't know if it's for fires and taxes. And I mean, like, I think maybe these bigger end celebrities like Elon Musk and whatever.
I think it's in my mind, it's taxes. Number one, the taxes are insane
for homeowners.
For homeowners,
or are you talking
for
about
people who are leaving? You know, people who are leaving California.
Okay. Now, are we got to classify people leaving, because you got your like average, you know, intern at Fox Studios versus like your CEO of like Elon Musk. So
there's two tiers. There's two tiers. Okay, I think for the opportunities and such, for the younger person, there's less opportunity out here.
Yeah,
you know.
Right now.
Now, a lot of productions are shut down. Yeah. Just look, the entertainment industry is in Los Angeles. A lot of it is stripped down and shut down right now. So if you're a younger person and you're going to come out here for all these contacts, and it's like a boneyard of that. Yeah. So why are you going to, it's super expensive to be out here, number one.
Yeah.
And there's less opportunities. So they're probably out.
Yeah, they've probably gone home.
Even stand-ups, like younger stand-ups who moved out here.
Yeah.
COVID has
sent everyone home. Yeah.
How can you stay out here? You know, what's the business model? Yeah. You can't stay afloat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be, LA will be here for people to come back, you know? So
I guess, but like, what's unfortunate is the response to COVID and whatever the solution that they've put in place right now, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think it's good. Like, I'm seeing like week after week institutions just shutting down. So comedy stores close, like, okay, fuck comedy. Take me out of the equation. I'm biased because I love comedy and stand-up. All right, Swingers shuts down. You know, that Cafe 101 just shut down.
Sammy's Camera.
The
camera shop, a staple of, you know, film.
Yes.
There.
So I'm thinking, LA is already a city without like a rich history. It's so new. It's not like New York or like Europe or something where they've been here for hundreds of years and there's all these institutions. The response to COVID is accelerating that even more. It's making it like a paper mache town. These things were barely here, but they're institutions like Cafe 101 or Swingers, and it really had a heart and gave character to the city. And just shutting everything down, you know, no relief. All these businesses, they don't even have the opportunity to become something down the line.
Yeah.
So that's kind of unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just it's feeding into the fleeting nature of LA to begin with. Like LA was already a veneer to begin with.
Yeah.
And now especially so with this COVID response. Mm-hmm. So that's why the younger people are leaving. Yeah. The older people are leaving because they were paying all this money to live in LA. You know, the only reason people put up with it in the past is because LA was LA. It had so much to offer. It had these things.
Yeah.
So the high income tax and all that and property tax, people were willing to overlook it to be out here. But now you've taken away what made it great. So why are you still paying all this money for taxes? Now every restaurant is closed. You can't even function as a human being, really. So that's why they're out. And then everything is more remote nowadays as well. A lot of people are realizing they can do their work from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why rich people are leaving, or just people who can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They can't even, and then stand-up wise, people can't even do what they do out here.
Yeah.
So that's why the rich people are leaving.
Yeah.
Or like the bottom tier and then the top tier. But we stay, baby.
We're just like struggling.
We're in just no man's land. So we're like, we're not rich enough to leave, but we're too established to like bounce. There still is value in being here.
I mean, I was gone for a couple of months, like 3 months, May, June, July, and I was miserable, man. I was like, I just gotta, even if I'm gonna be locked down and self-isolating, I'd rather do it here in LA than the suburbs of Northern Virginia.
Are things open out there though?
Yeah, you can go to the mall, you can go to restaurants and stuff. Some
You'd rather be locked down here
Yes.
than to like.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, I can just walking outside. I'm just like civilization. There's life here.
So that's
you know?
more of a city versus suburbs.
Yeah. And that's my biggest thing. Because there it's like if I do want to go to like the restaurants that are open, you know, I'd rather bring my food back regardless. You know, back home. So.
All right, this is from Abelino Estrada. Lance song, subject heading. Hey guys, long time listener, first time writer, short time watcher.
I love all these titles.
I love it too. Yo, Fahim, can you ask Lance about a hot track recommendation he gave back in the day on his pod? It was an Italian joint. I think it had the name or word Devo in it.
Is he asking you?
He's asking me. Yeah.
Wait. I don't get the question. He's asking you to
ask Lance.
Oh, ask Lance.
Yes. That's all I can remember, but I remember it was a real bop. Anyway, Miss Harun, I hope he is well, even though he ruined everything. So send my regard to Ali. The people need more lava takes. Abe. Oh, man, what was that? What was that song? I'm barely wrapping my head around, maybe it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't quite know. I wonder if there was a Lance playlist or something. Or maybe not. If I think of it,
you'll let them know.
Yeah, if Lance remembers.
Yeah.
I'll ask him. We'll see. I can't help you right now, though. Maybe it's called like Din Don or something. Italio. If you type in like Din Don, that's something close. All right. This is from Audrey. Virtue and chicken fancy is the subject heading. What are your thoughts on virtue signaling? It makes my skin crawl. How would you guys deal with this? For Ali, good fried chicken is best when you start with a buttermilk bath.
That's true.
Next, dip in flour and fry it in oil using a cast iron skillet. So good. Keep dancing. Audrey.
She makes great points. You got to let it sit in the brine for 5 to 8 hours.
That's such a long time.
Well, first you got to season it and leave it to sit overnight for 12 hours. Then you let it sit in a little brine, buttermilk.
I just got a cast iron skillet.
Oh, damn.
Welcome to the club, man.
What do you get? Okay, you got the air fryer.
Got the air fryer. I got the cast iron skillet.
What's on the menu, man?
Well, I got the cast iron skillet just for steaks.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I was doing like a pan, but I would always ruin my pans because it's pretty heavy duty. So I got the cast iron for the heavy duty stuff.
Did you look on how to like
season it and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know how to do it.
Okay. That's why I haven't bought it because
Kind of annoying.
I know I'm
what
not
you mean.
going to do that.
You got to do it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not that tough.
It's not.
You heat it, you put a little oil, you kind of like rub it around, and then it's good to go for the next one.
Yeah.
Fried chicken, dude. If you're serious about this fried chicken thing.
That's true.
All right, virtue signaling. What are your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I feel there's some that come very like performative.
Performative, yeah.
And I don't know. I guess like you got to know your crowd, know your audience. So for me, there's some people who like that I've encountered with where I'm like, look, you're preaching to the choir here. Like, ease up on the gas, you
Yeah.
know? Like if I'm going to sit around a group of Palestinians, I'm not going to be like, you guys Palestinian. It's like, they know.
Yeah.
I don't need to the virtue
Gas
signal
them
to
up.
be like, hey, I'm here on your side, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I've always tried to avoid that because I've noticed it happen so much where it's just kind of corny, you know? And then, I don't know. It's a very conflicting thing, you know? Well, how do you come across it?
Virtue signaling. I don't know. When it's obvious, it's pretty obvious. You know what I mean? You can kind of tell people's intentions or whether this is like a media play
Yeah.
or.
Now, are we talking about like celebrities virtue signaling or like...
I'm talking celebrities.
Oh, I'm talking about like
people?
individual friends and like people in your small circle. But yeah, okay, now if we're talking celebrities and corporations, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, like I think there's one that I brought up, like, I don't know if I brought up on the pod, but I remember I was walking around San Francisco and they had a Sephora ad or something with like a trans person or whatever,
Yeah.
like really prominent and all that.
Yeah.
And that's great, you know, but you're not risking anything. Like it's such a way to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Because they're in San Francisco. Obviously, they are the most progressive out of anywhere, especially on this type of issue.
And they have a long history of...
They have data. Like anytime
Yeah.
anytime a company does something woke,
Yeah.
it's because they have mountains of data to back this horse.
Yeah.
No
Sure.
company just does some shit on a whim because they're like on the bleeding edge of wokeness. So, like the Kaepernick thing with Nike, and it's great what they did and all that, but do you not think they had mountains of data that
Of
they'd come out
course,
ahead
yeah.
if this wasn't flipping a coin for them?
Again, now it's weird to say, like 3-4 years ago, saying Black Lives Matter was like a very... For corporations to acknowledge that was like a
Yes.
very like terrifying thing.
Just even Roger Goodell's take on the Kaepernick thing, from what it initially was to him making that statement in his bunker or whatever. Or, how many years? Like 2?
Yeah.
Two, like hardly anything. But polar opposite stances on the same thing.
Yeah.
So the Sephora ad has this trans person, and it's and it just struck me. I'm like, oh wow, okay. To see that, I go, like brave of the company, but then like do that in Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how forward are you? Once it starts cutting into your bottom line,
Yeah.
they're not as woke.
It's like
they're as woke as they financially can afford to be.
I feel like it's like they want to be inclusive because it's a financial benefit for them. It's like, hey, look, this community is going to...
You know what it is? It's a graph. It's how woke can we be while making the most money?
Yeah.
And whatever your brand is will allow you to be more woke than others.
Yeah.
All right? If you're like a shotgun company, you're not going to be very woke, or there's going to be limits.
Yeah.
Huge limits to how woke you can be.
Yeah.
If you are a makeup company, you're going to be able to be pretty woke.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess, different campaigns in different cities, but it just feels very performative.
Yes, that was the thing. The fact that it was in San Francisco,
Yeah.
it felt more performative than kind of like, I want to see that in Alabama.
Yeah. So, like, okay,
like how woke are you?
Yeah, so my gripe is like, if these corporations, whether it's Nike putting like Black Lives Matter slogans up, if you truly believe in what you're like campaigning and marketing, they like on the outside it's like, hey, Black Lives Matter, but like behind closed doors it's like, oh, but we use like slave labor and like sweatshops and Muslims in concentration camps in China to make our product, so it's like, okay, Black Lives Matter is like all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter, but it's also like, oh, but also these people that we have that we're paying pennies to make our shoes for, their lives don't matter. So it is very virtual, like performative, because it's like, look, this is gonna move product. If we stamp Black Lives Matter or the rainbow flag or whatever it is, if this moves product, even though they do, like the company continues to do unethical shit, it's just kind of like you just look at it and you're like, I guess that's the wave right now, like the quote unquote wokeness of like corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, anyways, that's how I feel about it. Like, I was coming at it earlier. I was coming at it from a very personal and, like, one-on-one.
Yeah. And
Like, because you'll be in, like, you'll, like, meet someone new, or you'll be in a crowd, or you'll, you know, be at a party.
Try to outwoke each other, bro?
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, hey, man, like...
It's a woke-off! Everybody get in here!
Yeah, like, I've been, you know, I've met people at, like, dinners or whatever, and they just got to be like, all men are trash, right, man? Fuck men. And I'm like, my guy, like... I get you want to be like you're an ally, and you identify as a feminist, but like you don't. You can tone it down.
We're the worst.
Yeah,
I do that a lot.
Yeah, like right, guys.
Whenever I go to a nightclub,
yeah.
Whenever I go, men are trash. Right, ladies?
Fucking men.
We're the worst.
We got to ruin everything.
What's your number? I do that. I go. We're the fucking worst. Men are trash, right, ladies? What's your number?
So I guess that's our two perspectives: one from a corporate angle, and one from a personal, and
one from a woke off.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Robin. Fuck the French, but it's like asterisks. Fahim and Ollie, I love the podcast. I graduated from audio to YouTube, as I love to see you guys as well as hear you. I am a fan from the UK, mixed race, but not of Asian background. But I love your Afghani American experience and point of view.
Thank you.
Ollie, love the lava takes. Fuck the French. You have an ally, dude. I am not.
Well, I can rely on the Brits for that.
Sure. I am not just against the French. I have a misanthropic vibe. Fuck you. Fuck all y'all. But I am happy to start with the French. Just because I am British does not mean I don't hold scorn for my country too. I do, wankers. I think we might have different reasons for scorching the French. They are being dogmatic with Muslims, which is dictatorial, but I don't think someone should be beheaded or murdered with a machine gun for showing some cartoons. I am non-religious and try to be tolerant for others' faiths, but I find most religions intolerant and at best annoying. Whoa. So as a free thinker, fuck the religious. Always trying to tell people what to think and what to do. And I love the chicken heist film idea. Please do it. Feature length. If I ever get a lot of money, I would love to fund you guys to make this. From Robin.
Robin.
I just found a financier for my chicken heist film, and I'm excited.
Well, that was a documentary, right?
It was going to be a lot of things. It's going to be a documentary following you, and then it turns into a heist movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's Mission Impossible, and you're taking your mask off because you've been wronging all these chicken people.
Yep. Wow, Robin, you there's a lot to unpack there, and I kind of want to just touch on this real quick before we move to the next mailbag. I don't know, maybe we shouldn't dabble in that. We'll just move on. I don't agree with your points on religiosity, but because of that, that's all I got to say.
That's the beauty of the dance hour. We can agree to disagree. Yeah. All points of view are allowed. Thank you for writing in, Robin. We appreciate it.
Thank you for listening and writing in.
Exactly. And thank you for being an audio listener and moving to a viewer.
Fuck the French. And
you can bounce between the two if you would like. You know, you don't have to watch all the time. You can listen if you would like.
You can listen in the car, pick up when you get home, throw it up on the TV.
We give you options.
Yep.
All right. This is a tough one, man. I don't know how to say this name. Forgive me if I say it wrong. All right.
This is why I love our audience and our listeners.
It's diverse. We got Bilbo. And then we got Robin. And then we've got
Audrey
Garine. Garine.
Garh.
Whoa! Yamaha's back. Yes!
Our first sponsor.
Yamaha. Oh my God, it's been so long since Yamaha.
Was that Yamaha? That was Yamaha.
Who else could it be?
It could have been Kawasaki. But I don't think it was.
That sounded like very Yamaha.
It was. You're right.
They have a very specific note to their engine.
Yeah. Well, shout out to our sponsors, Yamaha.
Yamaha's back.
If you guys decide to buy a motorcycle, use our promo code DanceHour15.
DanceHour15.
Get 50%
Yeah.
discount.
All right.
Or is it a $15 one? I don't know, but try it out.
Try it out. Let us know. All right, Salam Fahim and Ali. I'm a huge fan of your show and all the content you put out. Both of you are just really chill guys, and the dynamic between you two is perfect. Always in sync with each other, and the back and forth conversation flows so well. And not to say I don't enjoy when you guys have guests on your show, but personally, it's so much more interesting and funny when it's just you two. Anyways, kudos to you both. Seems like there's a lot of work and passion put into what you do, and it shows. I get very inspired watching / listening to you talk. Hope you never stop. Peace. Garine.
Oh, that was just a nice.
Dasarian.
That was just a nice email.
Just a nice email. Fangirling. That was a subject heading.
Thank you. Appreciate
it.
Thank you, girl. I don't know.
Thanks, girl.
I use guy and man very like gender neutral and dude, but then I've been called out on that before,
bro.
but I continue to be problematic.
All right. Hold on. Here we go.
But thank you for that email. Very, very thoughtful. I'm
All
glad
right.
you like us.
Yes, this is from Cyrus, Dance Hour fan, part 2. Hi, Fahim and Ollie. It's me again, the founder and CEO of Soupstagram. Hope you both had a safe and happy holidays and we could finally move on from 2020. I pour a soup out for all the dead homies. Anyways, I have a few questions I hope you two can answer. This is a few questions here. Here we go.
All right,
Is a penguin a bird? I feel like there's better people to qualify.
Yeah, I'm not a zoologist.
I'm not a zoologist either, but we can go by feeling.
I think it's a bird. Look, there's some birds that don't fly, right?
Yeah.
Chickens.
Yeah, I'll say it's a bird.
That's it.
a bird.
Beak, flappers.
Looks like a bird.
Looks like a bird. It's a bird.
Swims like a bird.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not?
But it goes underwater, though. But some birds do dive in.
This is true. Ducks,
Yeah.
they can for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bird.
We'll say it's a bird.
It's
You
a
heard
bird.
it here first, guys.
Yeah.
Is there Chinese alphabet soup? I'm gonna say yes.
I'm not.
I don't know if it's as popular as it is here. You know, like our alphabet soup.
Yeah. I would have to believe there's Chinese alphabets.
What I love is that these are very Googleable questions, but we're getting a taste of our own medicine here. Can sharks get nosebleeds? I would say like something could hit it and it'll start bleeding, but
From
it's
its
not like
nostrils or its openings.
yeah, it's not
or
like it
gills?
gets dried or something. And it's like not this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like the way that you or I get one.
Because like nose holes are for oxygen, but they must have like holes for gills, water.
This is true.
I don't know.
Yeah, why
whatever
do they have
holes they
nostrils?
have on the front of their face, if there's a hole, blood will come out of it.
You think?
And no.
Well, if you puncture it or whatever, but it's not just going to happen spontaneously because it's dry.
No, I think if it's coming up to someone and you punch
a shark in the nose
or
hole.
the shark runs into a boat,
God
so-
forbid.
God forbid. Yeah, I caught myself. I was like, wait, why?
God forbid a
God
shark.
forbid, you
Yeah,
know.
man, your heart goes out to these sharks. Why are there mermaids but no merbutlers? Yeah, that is sexist. What's that about?
Wait. Butlers?
Yeah, there's mermaids.
Oh,
But no butlers.
I get the pun. Yeah.
Equal rights, dude. That could be a movie, dude. Everyone wants to reverse the genders on movies.
Yeah.
Why don't we get like a male Splash? Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Did I just make $1 billion? You heard it here first, guys.
You just-
male Splash.
I
Thank
also have
you.
a
You can write
problem.
checks to Fahim Anwar.
I also have a problem with these like women spin-offs. I think it's very tacky, but I have my reasoning behind it. But we can get into that one. I think if you truly
Yeah.
want to be like we want to give women an opportunity to tell stories. Like give them an original story.
Totally. I
Instead
wholeheartedly
of being
agree.
like, oh, let's take Ocean's 11.
With diversity,
Yeah.
people just like let them tell original stories with this cast or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't just give them a previous property because you're so scared. Like you don't even want to give them the keys to do. They go, let's hedge our bets
Bro,
by
that
making
goes
it
back-
Ghostbusters.
That goes back to like the virtue signaling thing. You know, where
Yes.
it's like
Let's-
we'll do this because there's a demand. We'll make money off like
They go, yeah, it's almost like, okay, we can't give the keys to women totally.
Yeah.
All right, that's too risky. But let's do a property that we know works. Ghostbusters. People love Ghostbusters. So we'll give them the razor. We'll give them the safety razor with no razor blade in it.
Yeah.
And it'll make money because people love Ghostbusters more than, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Just enough to hedge our bets. Just do an original.
Yeah.
And if you want a diversity and all that, make an original product comprised of these people instead of it's just like holding on. You don't trust the
and it, and it goes back
artist.
to the email that Audrey sent about virtual signaling.
Yeah. And then you just have a thing that no one asked for.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they go, well, we gave it to you and it
Yeah.
didn't work. We gave you the thing.
that's exactly how
We
it
gave you the
goes.
shitty idea and it didn't work. Well, this is why we can't give it to you, or we tried.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
Give us something original. No, we haven't had our bets.
Anyways, that's our side tangent. What were
Side
the
tangent.
questions? Were like
let's see.
more. Do you have more
yeah.
questions?
How did smartphones take over the flashlight industry without anyone noticing?
Oh, that's a good point.
That is true. That's like Zoom taking Skype's lunch. Huh?
Yeah. If we don't have an answer for that,
We
but
don't have
it's
an
a
answer,
good
but
point.
it's a very good point.
Yeah.
If Europe uses euros, should Africa use afros? Look at the cat skills or whatever.
I like that.
Thanks in advance for your help. Keep up the great work, Cyrus.
Well,
Hey,
Cyrus,
Thank you for the questions.
That was very odd, but I appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Please write us back. Don't leave us.
All right, this is from Jay Johnson. Starting your day. Subject heading. Hello. How long do each of your morning routines last? Please share details if you feel comfortable doing so. Thanks, Jade.
Now, this is like...
Thank you for writing in, Jade.
Hygiene routines or like breakfast routines? Or what kind of routines are we talking about? Skincare routines?
Sure, let's go all the way.
Oh,
let's
damn.
go all the way to meal.
The lunch meal or
No,
breakfast meal?
we'll go breakfast meal.
Go for it.
Ooh, I start?
Oh, I can start. I wake up, spend at least minimum of an hour and a half scrolling through TikTok.
Jesus.
And then, yeah, I just can't get out of bed. Oh, well, I mean, like, it's through my phone. So I need, whether it's like any social media, texts.
I've never been on TikTok for an hour.
I can't get off. I put a timer, a 45-minute timer. Or like, anyways, do my morning dump. Yada. And then, and I just kind of start my day, skincare routine, you know. I'll wash, cleanse.
Tell the people what it is.
I use a facial cleanser. Depending on if I'm going out or anything, I'll use a serum. And then there is like another, like, kind of not a lotion, but something like a thing I apply on pre-lotion. My friend gave me everything I do now, whether it's hair care or skincare. It's been like
vetted.
curated by like my friends that are in that world. And then I'll do my quote unquote workouts, which is like maybe 5 push-ups and
This is all in the morning
2 pull-ups
before you eat.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I'll like, I don't know, depending on the day, I'll either do cereal, bagel with smoked salmon, avocado, or if I'm feeling hungry, a breakfast burrito.
Nice.
And that's the morning routine. Yeah.
All right. I think mine is more easy than yours.
I don't think so. I think you're...
I'm pretty chill.
So you wake up.
Okay.
Eyes are open.
Eyes are open.
Do you go for the phone?
Yeah. Because the alarm's going off.
Oh, you set an alarm.
I set an alarm.
Okay.
You don't? You just wake up and your body tells you to?
Yeah. Kind of. Well, I don't have a thing to wake up. I don't have work.
Okay, I do now. Okay. But even when I didn't, I just kind of set it for 8 hours.
Okay.
Because you can be a piece of shit and you can sleep 10 hours if you're not careful or something.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so like I'll set 8 hours. I'll just make sure I get 8.
Okay. So you'll hit a snooze alarm.
Sometimes I will accidentally hit snooze and it's annoying because then I'll snooze for like 5 times. It just keeps on coming up and I just want to get rid of the thing.
Yeah.
So I'll try to hit stop. Snooze sucks. All right. So I'll hit stop. Then I'll look at my phone, texts, emails. It's sort of like
the notifications that have piled up.
Yeah, because a lot of times I think I will wake up later than the day starts normally. Just being a stand-up or an artist or whatever, there will be texts I need to respond to or emails or, you know, I'm not the military guy who wakes up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm not the one sending out the first emails of the day. So I'm responding to what's already in the phone. So a little bit of like, you know, okay, responding to this, my manager or something, or a friend wrote something, or so I'm just kind of tying up those loose ends immediately, just in bed with the phone. Then shower. All right. Yeah. So I'll shower. And then it depends if I need to see people. Do I need to comb my hair? Am I going to see other people?
Yeah.
If I need to comb my hair, I have a whole thing to kind of like...
Your hair care routine.
My hair care routine. Because it's curly. It's dry. It's like a rat's nest and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like tinder. It's just so dry and curly. And so I'm not going to go through the whole routine.
I want to know this routine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, really?
I'm curious.
Well, we have different hair. You've got nice stuff going on right now.
But
you've got like a Rambo 4 thing going on right now.
Yeah, but I got to...
Or a Rocky 4, sorry.
I got to put so much product into it to get it to...
I do too, but
right,
this took years to figure out my process,
Okay.
but I guess I will. And then skincare shit, I don't really do anything, and which makes people very angry because people comment they like my skin a lot.
You just have great genes.
I just have great genes.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I'm very fortunate. I don't do serums. I don't. But one thing that I have implemented... I love how this is getting like very 17 magazine and everything for 2 dudes.
We need to talk more about male.
Male care.
Yeah.
All right. So this thing would happen where the only downside of my skin is like I would get flaky, like around the nose here, like right around here and like right
under your eyes.
Under my eyes, I would get like really dry and flaky. So I was doing St. Ives apricot scrub and shit, and I'm just learning that was just wrecking my face. Like that's not that I would break out or anything, but just I learned later that that's bad. That's actually just like scraping. Those are ground up apricot pits, and you're just scraping your face.
Yeah.
And it didn't really help. I was just doing it to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I discovered, what is this brand? It's called like Sara Lee or something, or it's SEV. This is important. Sarah.
I don't know if it's Sarah. I think that's a baking.
So I put bundt cake.
Sara Lee pound cake.
Cleanser. What is it? Okay, it's CeraVe.
Okay, CeraVe.
SERAVE.
Okay.
So it's just this pump cleanser or whatever.
Yeah.
I just do that in the shower, and that'll remove all the dead shit.
Oh, damn.
So that's what it was. And it's like not even beads or anything. It's just like straight up gel.
Who told you this?
I don't know how I discovered it.
Oh, it wasn't like a
maybe
dermatologist or anything?
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe I just like Googled it.
Okay.
Just I was like tired of it. I'm like, how do I get rid of this shit?
Yeah.
And then I'll just foam it up, and it just like removes this like layer that was giving me problems. So I do that in the shower. That, and then conditioner, well, first shampoo, conditioner, and then,
So then how do you get it to what it is?
Well, right now I have a hat on because I didn't give a shit.
Well, if you were,
If I was caring?
Yeah.
All right, so if I'm going to see people and I want to do my hair or whatever, so then I have shampoo, then conditioner,
Yeah.
and then I like brush the conditioner through with like a wide tooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like a brush.
Comb,
Like a
yeah.
brush. Yeah. Like a Conair. Getting very specific. All right, then I finish and I towel dry my hair. So I towel dry it, and then I have this product. This is so specific, dude.
We need to know because people have hair similar to yours, and
If
they
you
need to
have
know.
like mine, I don't know if they've ever seen mine when it's not done though.
Yeah.
Maybe there's pictures on my Instagram whenever I don't give a fuck and it's just like dry and shit.
Yeah.
That's what the baseline is. And then it's this Frizzies, John Frieda.
Okay.
Frizzies.
Gotcha.
Whatever the maximum version of that is.
All right.
So I'll do 2 pumps of that. I'll, put it in the hands, and then I'll just kind of put it through.
Yeah.
Then I'll comb it through. This is kind of a heat protectant as well.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm gonna hit it with the blow dryer. All right.
Whoa.
So then I have this paste.
Okay.
It's bedhead.
Oh, no, that's some hardcore.
This is texture though. It's just like
okay. It's not.
it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's like pasty.
Because they have like that one gel that's like rock hard gel that I used to use back in my youth. Yeah.
So I use a lot of this shit. Like I probably use more than I need to just because I like to coat everything. So put that in there. I comb it through this bedhead paste. All right. And then I blow dry. I get it drier. I get the hair drier.
Yeah.
Like just kind of like this is kind of parted off a little bit, just like just to get the rest of it
Yeah.
kind of drier. And then what do I do? Okay. And then I blow dry it. So then I kind of like hold it back and straighten it. Because if I hold it taut and blow dry it, and like comb it, blow dry, blow dry.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good. Some people will like do this shit. I'm not good at rolling it
Yeah.
and like taking these sections. I'm just like so bad at that. I'm not coordinated enough to do it. So I do that, and then I'll throw a beanie on after I
to like hold it.
to hold
compress
it.
Yeah.
So I've put the shit on. I've blow dried it. I like comb it, and I put a beanie on for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that just kind of sets it.
Yeah.
And then I hit it with the last thing, which is American Crew.
Okay.
But it's the gold one.
Man,
This is a process.
Yeah.
But it's really not. It's only.
But I love the products, man. These are some very traditional.
And this is just like shit that I've learned on accident because it's hard to get my hair to like relax.
Yeah.
And kind of be wavy and just like kind of manageable.
Yeah.
Well, this is like day after, so I haven't really like.
Oh, you guys, the listeners, Fahim's taking off the hat.
Yeah.
And he's showing us. So hop on YouTube and look at
Check
Fahim's
that
hair.
out. Well, yeah, that's sort of like a day after. Sometimes it actually looks better the day after.
Yeah.
Than when you do it day of or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's trial and error. I think the way I kind of discovered the beanie thing was I was doing this comedy, this NACA college festival where you do this conference where all the college kids from a region will book their entertainment for the year.
Yeah.
So I had just showered. I had gotten out of the shower and I just put a beanie on because it was cold. It was in Boston. I was walking around. And then I came back to the hotel and my hair was straight. And it's never happened before, you know? And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, beanies can do that.
Yeah, man.
So then that's
It's like our version of a do-rag, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah.
That's what it was. So then just tinkering and shit over the years, I figured out my process to make it work for me. So that American Crew, it's it's a clay. It's like a mold, so it gives it some shine.
Yeah.
And I like that it's not wet. You know what I mean? Like I don't like gel and it's all crunchy.
Yeah.
So all this shit is still pliable.
Yeah. I used to, American Crew, good brand.
What else? So I mean, then I go downstairs and I'll like make coffee and breakfast. I'll make eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great.
But if I don't see anybody, I just throw a hat on and like.
Yeah.
I kind of like when I'm like, do I need to see anybody? No. All right, let's wear a hat.
Yeah.
Or do I not care about these people enough to even do my hair, and that's fine. That's a different category as well. I'm like, they can see me in a hat.
Yeah.
But now I'm doing this job thing, so on Zoom, I gotta like, I can't be the guy wearing a hat. Everyone combs their hair and stuff, so I'm like, ugh, I gotta do this every day. But it's not that bad. I figured it out. It's so fast.
Okay.
The only thing is like putting a beanie on for 15 minutes.
So overall, how long?
What, the process?
Yeah. Like outside a shower, once you begin.
Oh, probably the whole thing is like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, once the beanie, I'm doing other shit.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm just staring at a wall and I have.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot just because no one really puts a beanie on.
I think once everyone starts breaking down their process, they realize that there is steps to it, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's so second nature to me.
Yeah.
That I can just do it so fast.
Yeah.
And then once I have the beanie on, I'm doing other things as well. I'm answering emails and doing work. And then once the timer goes off, I just.
Yeah.
And then it's done. It's like a turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then some work goes into it, dude.
Yeah, you gotta put effort to look good. and
But
presentable.
I kind of like how I get to switch hit though. Sometimes, like there have been times where I just rolled to the comedy store after towel drying my hair, and people are like, well, "What the fuck?" Like they don't even know that my hair does that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like,
And they're like, "I like it. I like it
Yeah.
like this." And I'm like, "Oh, you say that.
Yeah.
You say that now, but
It's
the
just
other
different.
the other way's better."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like back in my short hair days, man, it was such a like just shower, come out and just put some product on and walk out the door in less than 2 minutes, you know, of a process. Now it's like I got to put in like this like hair repair like type of conditioner in an hour before. Like I got to wash my hair, then put it in my hair an hour before I take a shower. Then I use this like super expensive shampoo, and then I use this like conditioner that I have to let it sit for 30 minutes. So I have to like get out of the shower, like go about my day for like 30 minutes and then wash that out. And once it's kind of dry, I take like there's like argan oil. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And then like a couple of squirts in my hand and put it on the like tips of my hair. And now I'm like, oh shit. Like I've surprisingly haven't touched my hair yet. But like normally I'm just like damn, this shit is soft all day. Cause like a couple months before I started doing this, it was just like regular ass, like, you know, Pantene or L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
And then my hair was just always like rough. And
You know what's frustrating is when you find these things out about your hair and you go, "Oh fuck, I could have had this for how many years?"
Yeah.
You discover these things later than you wish you discovered them.
yeah.
Like, "Oh man, I could have discovered this process earlier."
I mean, it takes time. It's growth, you know?
Yeah. So I guess that's the takeaway. If you have like coarse, kind of curly hair,
Yeah.
try blow drying, like holding it taut,
Yeah.
blow drying it, and then beanie. Throw a beanie on for a few minutes.
That does help, yeah. Some people go to sleep with the beanie on. I mean, just guys I know.
Interesting. that seemed like such, like it's so you. just guys I know. Some guys sleep with a beanie on. Just guys I know. Not me though.
Yeah, not me.
I just feel like you could be rolling around too much with the beanie and then it'll like ruin shit. Like, look, 15 is not that long.
Yeah.
I throw that on. That's enough for me.
These guys need to know.
They need to know and experiment, man.
Yeah.
I just tinkered with a bunch of things. Like even the product that I use now, it was just trial and error. It used to be other stuff, but I'm happy with what I got.
All right.
That's it, man.
Whoa.
We've hit the end of the mailbag.
All right.
We're back.
A solid episode.
Solid app.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for tuning in.
Watching.
Be safe out there, guys.
If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, leave a comment on one of the videos. What else?
Sure, why not?
Subscribe to the podcast, you know?
Yeah, subscribe to it, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple
iTunes,
Music, whatever the fuck it is.
Stitcher,
Stitcher. Leave a review, please.
On iTunes,
iTunes, that'd be great. Thumbs up it.
Yep.
Yeah, we already said subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, some interaction.
We
want this podcast to be...
It's the podcast for you. It's the podcast for us. It's for everyone. There's a community. Everyone. And then write into us. We love reading these. fahimanwardancehour@gmail.com. We always try to hit all of them if we can.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. And then, check out the Fahim Anwar Dance Hour Spotify playlist. We will update it every week with whatever song we play on the pod.
Yep.
We'll be adding it to this week as well.
Okay.
If you're watching, it'll be in the description because we're not going to play it. But if you're listening, you're going to hear it after this.
All right, here we go.
You ready for this tasty jam?
Yeah, man. I know you were playing this before we got started. While we're setting up, we're dancing.
Bro,
to this.
yeah. All right, this track. First of all, I have talked about my love for Breakbot.
Yes, you
Breakbot
have.
is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When I was working at Boeing, I discovered Breakbot.
Whoa.
And he's from France. He's part of the Ed Banger crew.
Okay.
All right. Just like he caught my attention with his remixes. He's also one of the songs that, from the Island question, I said Runaway to Elsewhere Breakbot remix is one of the most beautiful dance songs that I've ever heard in my life. He just touched. There's some people, I remember I was watching, and this is just, I'm biased, this is my own opinion, just as a fan of music and all that. There are some artists that you find to just be touched. There's a scene in, what's that Beach Boys movie with, who's that actor from There Will Be Blood? He's
Daniel Day-Lewis? Paul Dano?
Paul Dano.
Yeah.
All right, so he plays...
that beach...
it's
Love
good.
and Mercy?
Love and Mercy. Yeah. So there's this scene in that movie that I really love where Paul Dano, who's playing Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, and I felt Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys as well. I feel this way about him too. He's touched.
Oh yeah, he's definitely...
So that line came from the movie where I forgot. I think he's making pet sounds in the movie,
Yeah.
And I forget who comes out to talk to him. Maybe it's another producer or something, or maybe it's a session musician or something. And then he goes like maybe he's second guessing himself or something like that. And he's like, "You're touched, man. Like whatever it is, whatever you want to quantify it, or maybe it's different for other people, but you just hear certain songs, or maybe certain art speaks to you a certain way, and it's like this person." They're not doing they're doing everything and nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just touched. They're tuned into a certain frequency. Like I feel that way about Pharrell. Certain people are just touched.
And they just naturally
they've got something and that is undeniable, and it's like tapped into this other dimension.
It kind of even goes down to like athleticism, where you can train an individual for years, but they still won't have that like natural talent that certain athletes that have like superseded. And so like that translates to musicians as well. You can teach someone how to play an instrument and they can master, but they'll never have like that certain element, that touch thing that like a Brian Wilson has.
Like there's nothing I can say or anybody can say or do that will make you not produce something magical.
Yeah.
Some people are like riding this edge. They are capable and they can... It can go either way. It's almost like you're kind of worried about it. Like it may topple over or something, like a Jenga, like the end of a Jenga game. Like Brian Wilson, Breakbot, Pharrell, they are a Jenga tower with no pieces taken out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just touched. So I remember I was working at Boeing and I would just keep on hearing all these Breakbot songs, and every song was fucking amazing, every remix. And then he was playing Riverside. He was doing a DJ set, and like me and my buddy were such big Breakbot fans. We went to Riverside just to watch him spin.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even just to see the guy,
Yeah.
So Breakbot, and then he's had some albums come and go. I wish he produced more music, but he has this new track that I love.
Okay.
So this is the jam here. And again, do a deep dive on Breakbot. He's one of my favorites. So this is called Amal, and it's by Breakbot, Irfane, and Yuksek.
All right, man. What a great track. And they can find this on the Fahim Anwar Dance Hour playlist.
Yeah, Fahim Anwar Dance Hour Spotify playlist. Check it out.
Check
Enjoy
it
the
out.
track. Enjoy the pod.
Enjoy this. All right.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, you guys.
Peace.
See ya.